Now the first chapter of trigonometry is trigonometric ratios, that is basics of trigonometry. Now before we start the basics of trigonometry, we all should know what is the meaning of coordinate axis. What is the meaning of coordinate axis? Okay. So consider a pair of mutually perpendicular lines of reference. Okay. Consider pair of mutually perpendicular lines of reference. X dash OX and Y dash OY. Let us consider pair of mutually perpendicular lines of reference X dash OX and Y dash OY on a plane. Let us consider pair of mutually perpendicular lines. This is X O X dash, Y O Y dash. Okay. These straight lines are called coordinate axis. These straight lines are called coordinate axis. Okay. And their point of intersection is called origin. The point of intersection is called origin. And it is denoted by O. It is denoted by what? This point is called origin, denoted by O. Now the importance of this point is, remember, these coordinate axis is dividing the whole plane into 4 equal parts. And those 4 equal parts, they are called quadrants. Now in this, the horizontal line, okay, X dash OX is called x-axis. Horizontal line is called x-axis. And the vertical line YOY dash is called y-axis. Okay. Now these two lines, that is horizontal line and vertical line, they are called coordinate axis. So these coordinate axis, okay, these coordinate axis divide the whole plane into four equal parts. 4 equal parts. And these parts are called quadrants. These parts are called quadrants. These parts are called quadrants. So once again, here this is x o x dash, y o y dash. These are called coordinate axis. It is dividing into 4 equal parts called coordinates. Now the first part, that is x o y, is called first quadrant. X dash o y, this is called second quadrant. X dash o y dash is called third quadrant. Y dash o x is called the fourth quadrant. They are called first, second, third and fourth quadrant. So they are generally denoted by Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Q1 is called first quadrant, that is x o y. Q2 means y o x dash. Q3 means x dash o y dash. Q4 means x o y dash. These are called 4 quadrants. So the whole plane is divided into 4 quadrants. Now the next concept is coordinate of a point in a plane. Coordinates of a point in a plane. What does it mean? Coordinates of a point in a plane. Consider a point P. Let us say point P is x comma y in the plane. Consider a point P x comma y in a plane. Now this is x o x dash, y o y dash. Okay, this is the point P on a plane. This is the point P. Okay. So x denotes x. Let x denotes the perpendicular distance. X denotes the perpendicular distance. X denotes the perpendicular distance, this distance, perpendicular distance of P from y-axis. Perpendicular distance of point P from y-axis. So what does x denotes in the point P x comma y? If this is the point P, x denotes the distance of the point P from y-axis. And y denotes, in point P x comma y denotes the distance of P from x-axis. This is x, this is y, this is x. Y denotes the perpendicular distance of P from x-axis. Very, very important point. If you want to plot a point on a plane, that is P point, x in P denotes the distance from y-axis, and point P, in point P x comma y denotes distance of P from x-axis. This is the meaning of x and y. This is the second very, very basic point. Okay. Now third point here, very important, is how to know the point P lies in which quadrant. P x comma y lies in first quadrant. How to identify the point P lies in the first quadrant? If P lies in the first quadrant, If P x comma y is lying in the first quadrant, remember x should be greater than 0, y should be greater than 0. X should be positive, y should be positive. If P lies in the first quadrant, x and y both should be positive. Okay. Now, if P x comma y lies in second quadrant, if P x comma y lies in the second quadrant, how do you know a point P lies in the second quadrant? Remember, x should be less than 0, y should be greater than 0. If P lies in the second quadrant, x should be less than 0, y should be greater than 0. If P x comma y lies in the third quadrant, how to know the point P which is on the plane lies in the third quadrant? Remember, x should be negative, y also should be negative. Now, before we define trigonometric ratios, this fundamental point is very, very useful. Similarly, if P x comma y lies in fourth quadrant, okay, x should be positive and y should be negative. X should be greater than 0, y should be less than 0. This is the way you can know the point P lies in the which quadrants out of these four quadrants. So what we have learned in this 2-3 points is what do you mean by coordinate axis. Second point is these coordinate axis divides the whole plane into how many equal parts. Third is what is the meaning of quadrant. And fourth point is if any point P is plotted on a plane, how to know it lies in which quadrant. And important note point is in P x comma y, x coordinate is called abscissa of point P, is called abscissa of the point P. Abscissa of the point P. What is x called? Abscissa point P. Very, very important. Tomorrow if they say what is abscissa, it means x coordinate of point P. And the second element, that is y, is called ordinate of point P, is called ordinate of the point P. X is called abscissa and y is called ordinate of point P. Okay. Now, one more very important note point is if P x comma y is a point on x-axis. How do you know the point P is on x-axis? If y is equal to 0. If point P is on x-axis, y should be 0. Similarly, if P x comma y is a point on y-axis, how do you know point is on y-axis? If x is equal to 0, very useful before we define trigonometric ratios. This is the first point, remember. Now, let us try to now define all the 6 trigonometric ratios. So the next point is trigonometric ratios. Third point is trigonometric ratios trigonometric ratios of a general angle. Trigonometric ratios of a general angle. After we know these simple basics, let us try to draw a circle in this coordinate axis. Let us draw one circle in this coordinate axis, x o x dash, y o y dash. Okay, keeping the origin O as the center of the circle. Let us take any point P, x comma y on this circle with radius r. Radius of this circle is r. In this coordinate axis, let us try to draw a circle with center at O with radius r. Let us take P, x comma y as any point on the circle. Just now I told you that this PM distance will be y and OM distance is the distance of this point P from y-axis. This will be x. This is your x, this is your y. So therefore, OP will be equal to, what is OP distance? We took as radius. It will be equal to what? Root of x square plus y square. R will be root of x square plus y square. Therefore, 6 trigonometric ratios of theta are defined. Now let us say this angle is theta. This angle is how much? Theta. Okay. The 6 trigonometric ratios, 6 trigonometric ratios of theta. Now let us try to define. Okay. Now first is trigonometric ratios is sine of angle theta. Sine of an angle theta. What does it mean? Sine of an angle theta. In short, we write it as sine theta. Remember, it is equal to y divided by r. It is y divided by r. Y is the opposite side of theta. R is the radius, that is called hypotenuse. Y is called the ordinate and r is called the distance of O from P, that is r. Sine of an angle theta, sine theta equal to y by r. Next one is cosine of an angle theta. Cosine of an angle theta. In short, we write it as cos theta. How it is defined? It is x by r. It is x by r. X means OM distance, r is OP distance. Cosine of an angle theta. The second trigonometric ratios is cosine of an angle theta, cos theta. Okay. Now third one is tangent of an angle theta. Tangent of an angle theta, tan theta. In short, we write it as tan theta. It is equal to y divided by x. Remember in this figure, y means PM distance and x means OM distance. Okay. Now the fourth trigonometric ratios is cotangent of an angle theta. Cotangent of an angle theta. In short, we write it as cot theta. Cot theta is defined as x by y. Cot theta is defined as x by y. Fifth one is secant of angle theta. Secant of an angle theta. In short, we write it as sec theta. It is equal to r divided by x. And the last trigonometric ratio is cosecant of an angle theta. In short, we write it as cosec theta. It is equal to r by y. So these are the 6 trigonometric ratios of theta throughout trigonometry chapter. These things is the basic of our trigonometry chapter. Now from here, all of can conclude that sine theta, if you see the definition of sine theta, it is equal to 1 by cosec theta. Cos theta is equal to 1 by secant theta. Tan theta is equal to 1 by cot theta. This is the next very important fundamental. Okay. Now, just now we have explained regarding quadrants and the point P lying in the 4 quadrants. Next important point is the sign of the ratios sine, cosine and tangent in each of the quadrant. Sine, cosine and tangent in each of the quadrants. In each of the quadrant. That means sine, cosine and tangent in each of the quadrants, what will be their signs? Now, sine theta, we all know by definition it is y by r. Now, since y is positive, in which quadrant y is positive? Since y is positive, in which quadrant y is positive? If you see, in first quadrant y is positive, in second quadrant y is positive. In which quadrant y is positive? Y is positive in first and second quadrant. Y is positive in which quadrant? First and second quadrant. Okay. And remember, since r is root of x square plus y square, it is always positive. Is always positive. Root of x square plus y square is always positive. So what is the conclusion? Therefore, sine theta is positive in first and second quadrant, because sine theta means y by r. Sine theta is always positive in which quadrant? First and second. Now we also know that this is your third quadrant, this is your fourth quadrant. This is your third quadrant, this is your fourth quadrant. So therefore, in third and fourth quadrant, already we have discussed that y is negative. Y is negative in third and fourth quadrant. Therefore, sine theta, which is equal to y by r, is negative in third and fourth quadrant. Similarly, cos theta, because it is x by r, therefore cos theta is positive in which quadrant? First and fourth quadrant. First and fourth quadrant, because x is positive in first and fourth quadrant, and cos theta is negative in which quadrant? Cos theta is negative in second and third quadrant. Why? Because x is negative in second and third quadrant. R is always positive. Now tan theta, since it is y by x, therefore tan theta is positive in which quadrant? Tan theta is positive in which quadrant? First and third, because both y and x will have same sign. In first quadrant both are positive, and in the third quadrant both are negative. Therefore, tan theta, remember, it is always positive in first and third, and tan theta is negative in second and fourth quadrant. Very, very important point we have learnt now. Therefore, the next important basics is all the 6 ratios are positive in the first quadrant. Now remember, first quadrant means XO, Y. This is called first quadrant. All 6 ratios are positive in the first quadrant. Now first quadrant actually means it starts from 0 degrees to 90 degrees. So in between 0 and 90, all 6 ratios are positive. All 6 ratios are positive in first quadrant, that is XOY. Sine theta and cosecant theta, because cosecant theta is reciprocal of sine theta, it is only positive in the second quadrant, that is from 90 degrees to 180 degrees. This is your second quadrant. And third quadrant is X dash O Y dash. It is from 180 degrees to 270 degrees. Which ratios are positive? Tan theta and reciprocal of tan, that is cot theta, are only positive. Remaining all 4 ratios are negative. And after completing one revolution, it comes back to 360 degrees. Y dash O X is called the fourth quadrant. And in fourth quadrant, cos theta and secant theta are only positive. Remaining all are negative. Remaining all 4 ratios are negative, because secant theta is reciprocal of cos theta. So what you have to understand in this complete basics of trigonometry, all 6 ratios are positive in the first quadrant. Sin theta and cos theta, cosecant theta, they are positive in the second quadrant. Tan theta and cot theta, they are positive in the third quadrant. Cos theta and secant theta, they are positive in the fourth quadrant. Okay. Now, let us talk about what is the meaning of trigonometric ratios of quadrant angles. Trigonometric ratios of quadrant angles. Trigonometric ratios of quadrant angles. Of quadrant angles. Quadrantal angles or quadrant angles. Now quadrantal angle means 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees and 270 degrees. They are called quadrantal angles. Trigonometric ratios of quadrantal angle means what is the value of sine 0, sine 90, sine 180, sine 270. Similarly, cos 0, cos 90, cos 180, cos 270. Similarly for tan. So this I am trying to show by drawing one table. This we can design one table to explain this point. This is called trigonometric ratios of quadrantal angles. Quadrantal angle means in the first row, let us try to write the angle. 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees and 270 degrees. These are called quadrantal angles. This is sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, cot theta, secant theta, and let us try to write here cosecant theta also. Okay. Now what is sine 0? Now remember, 0 degrees means the point P in 0 degrees. Let us try to show you here. Remember, if the point P is on x-axis, if the point P is on x-axis, I told you earlier, y coordinate of P will be 0. Y coordinate of point P will be 0 if it is on x-axis. So 0 degrees means the point P must be on x-axis. And since sine theta means y by r, and if y is 0, naturally sine 0 will be 0. Sine 0 will be 0. Now if the point P is exactly on y-axis, positive y-axis, it means at this point, if the point P lies on positive y-axis, x coordinate will be 0, y coordinate will be not 0. So therefore, if you ask me what is sine 90, since x is 0, y is not 0, therefore, and the radius of the circle at this point will be same as y. So the radius of the circle will be same as this is the point P here. Let us say this is the point P. So therefore x and y, x will be 0, y will be same as r. Therefore sine theta will be 190 degrees. Similarly sine 180 degrees. Sine 180 degrees, again the point P will be here somewhere. Therefore again at this point y will be 0. And if the point P is here, that is exactly 270 degrees. This is 270, this is 90, this is 180. Okay, so therefore again at this point x coordinate will be 0 and y coordinate will not be 0. It will be same as radius 1, but it is on the negative side of y-axis. Therefore sine 270 is minus 1. Similarly, considering these 4 places where P lies, we can write cos 0 will be 1 because cos theta means x by r. So on x-axis, y will be 0, x will not be 0, and it is equal to the radius. Therefore cos theta at 0 degrees, cos 0 will be 1, cos 90 will be 0, cos 180 degrees will be minus 1, and cos 270 degrees will be how much? 0. Okay, coming to tan 0. Tan 0, you can see 0 means it is on the point P should be on x-axis. Therefore tan 0 will be 0. Tan 90. Now what is tan theta? Tan theta is y by x. Now remember, if the point P is exactly on y-axis somewhere here, therefore x will be 0. And anything divided by 0, remember it is undefined. That is why tan 90 is undefined. That is the proof of why tan 90 is undefined. Tan 180 degrees, very clearly 0. Tan 270 degrees, undefined. Okay. Cot 0. Cot 0. What is cot theta definition? Cot theta definition is what? X by y. And because y is 0, when the point P is on x-axis, that is why cot theta, cot 0 is undefined. Similarly, cot 90. What is cot 90? 0. What is cot 180 degrees? Cot 180 degrees, again, it is undefined. And what is cot 270 degrees? It will be 0. Reciprocal of tan. Secant theta is reciprocal of cos. Therefore, secant 0, 1. Okay. Secant 90 degrees, undefined. Secant 180 degrees, minus 1. And secant 270 degrees, undefined. Okay. Cosecant 0, reciprocal of sine, therefore undefined. Cosecant 90 degrees, 1. Cosecant 180 degrees, undefined. And cosecant 270 degrees, minus 1. So therefore, this is the way we can prove trigonometric ratios of quadrantal angles. Trigonometric ratios of quadrantal angles. This is the way we prove it. Okay. Now let us come to trigonometric ratios of 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees. Trigonometric ratios of 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees. Now let us try to draw one table which gives us these trigonometric ratios of 30, 45 and 60 degrees. All 6 trigonometric ratios, let us try to put angle in the first row, okay. Here let us write angle, here 30 degrees, here 45 degrees and here 60 degrees. Angle 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees. Here sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, cot theta, secant theta and sixth one is cosecant theta. Okay. Now what is sine 30 degrees? Answer is half. Sine 30 is how much? 1 by 2. Sine 45 degrees, 1 by root 2. Sine 60 degrees, root 3 by 2. Okay. Cos 30, root 3 by 2. Cos 45 degrees, 1 by root 2. Cos 60 degrees, 1 by 2. Tan 30, 1 by root 3. Tan 45, 1. Tan 60, root 3. Cot 30, root 3. Cot 45, reciprocal of tan, 1. Cot 60 degrees, 1 by root 3, reciprocal of tan. Secant 30, reciprocal of cos, 2 by root 3. Secant 45 degrees, root 2. Secant 60 degrees, 2. Cosecant 30 degrees, reciprocal of sine, 2. This is root 2. And cosecant 60 degrees, 2 by root 3. These are trigonometric ratios of 30 degrees, 45 degrees and 60 degrees. Okay. Now, in our next video, we'll try to discuss domain and range of all 6 trigonometric ratios. What is the meaning of domain? What is the meaning of range of all 6 trigonometric functions? And also, we'll discuss for all values of theta, trigonometric ratios of 2n pi plus theta in terms of theta. That is, what is sine of minus theta? What is sine of 90 minus theta? What is sine of 180 minus theta? Like this, we'll try to discuss trigonometric ratios of all 2n pi plus theta values in our next video. Thank you, all of you.